I stand in front of the glass doors at Vertex Solutions, watching the light blink from green to crimson. My stomach drops before my brain catches up. The badge has worked for 3 years. I've walked through these doors 1,000 times. Now it won't let me in. I try again. Red. The security guard inside glances at me with pity, then looks away. Through the glass, I can see the open plan office. My team is at their desks. The quarterly strategy meeting is happening in conference room B. I should be in that room. I'm the one who built that strategy. Then I see him. My brother Tyler is sitting in my chair. My desk. He's leaning back like he owns it, talking to a woman with blonde hair, maybe mid-30s, holding a tablet like she belongs there. The woman looks up and catches my eye. She smiles past me, like I'm not even there. Tyler doesn't notice me at all. I pull out my phone and dial HR. Hello, this is Vertex Solutions HR. How can I help you? Hi, this is Rachel Sterling. I'm locked out of the building. My badge isn't working. Oh, Rachel. We need to talk about that. Can you hold for one moment? The hold music starts. Soft generic designed to calm. Doesn't work. My fingers grip the phone so hard my knuckles turn white. Something is very wrong. 3 hours later, I'm sitting across from Monica in HR. She has a folder open. My file. She's not making eye contact. There's been a restructuring, she says carefully. Your position has been eliminated effective immediately. We'll provide 2 weeks severance and your unused vacation days. Can't breathe right. Restructuring. I'm the lead on the Q3 strategy. The board presentation is in 2 weeks. Your brother, Tyler, suggested consolidating roles would improve efficiency. As VP now, he approved the restructuring during your absence. During my absence. Taken 10 days. My father had a minor heart scare, and I went to help my mother manage appointments and the chaos that comes with thinking you're going to lose a parent. Tyler had told me to take whatever time I needed. Family comes first, he'd said with that smile. You're letting me go because he asked you to? Say slowly. Monica's jaw tightens. The company is restructuring. Multiple positions were eliminated. Who took my role? She hesitates. That would be Megan Torres. She's been brought on as strategy lead. The woman in my chair. She started yesterday. Monica continues. Tyler brought her on while you were away. She comes from a boutique consulting firm. Very impressive credentials. I stand up. The room tilts. Security will escort you to collect your personal items, Monica says gently. It shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. I pack my desk into a cardboard box like I'm in a movie. The box gets heavier with each thing I add. My coffee mug, the photo of my parents, the plant that's somehow still alive. Megan watches me from across the room. She's curious, the way you'd watch an animal in nature documentary. Interesting but not your problem. Tyler doesn't come out of his office. I can see him through the glass walls, talking on his phone, gesturing with one hand. He laughs at something. The sound carries across the office, hollow and fake. Security walks me out. I don't cry. I document instead. I memorize the date, March 15th. I note that Megan's desk has been set up with precision. My old filing system is already dismantled. I observe that the Q3 strategy presentation is open on the main conference room screen, but it's the draft I submitted 2 weeks ago, the one I'd planned to revise. The one with 3 critical assumptions that need stress testing before final approval. I notice that Tyler has access to everything. My notes, my models, my backup analyses. Everything is still tagged with my name in the system metadata, even though files have been redistributed. I circle the upcoming board review date in my phone's calendar. April 30th. 8 weeks away. The security guard holds the lobby door open. I step into the afternoon light. Your sister is doing amazing, my mother says, passing the salad bowl. She got promoted to vice president. I can't believe it. I absolutely can't believe it. I chew my chicken mechanically, each bite tasting like ash. My father nods approvingly. Tyler always had the leadership instinct. Smart kid. Tyler smiles. This is his favorite moment. He's across the table, relaxed, his arm draped over the back of his chair. How's the transition going? My father asks him. Smooth, Tyler says. I reorganized the strategy team, streamlined processes. Rachel's been gone a lot, and we needed someone who could commit full-time. No judgment, I know Dad was sick, but a business can't afford gaps. My hand stills. Gap. He's calling me a gap. Void. A mistake to be corrected. I've brought on Megan Torres, he continues. She's a consultant. She gets things done. We're already seeing results. My mother beams at him. Honey, that's wonderful. No one asks me about my day. Later, as I'm leaving, Tyler corners me in the hallway. Rachel, I know this sucks, he says, sounding sincere. But honestly, you needed a reset. Maybe this is the universe telling you to take a breath. You've been grinding. You fired me, I say. I restructured the company, he corrects. It's different. You'll land somewhere. You're smart. This will be fine. He pats my shoulder like I'm a child. I look at him, really look at him, and I realize something crystalline and cold. I'm going to destroy him. I don't stalk Megan online, but I do happen to notice her LinkedIn posts. Excited to announce my new role as strategy lead at Vertex Solutions. Honored to join this incredible team. The post has 247 likes. Mostly from people I don't recognize, but a few familiar faces, my colleagues. They're moving forward, which is what humans do. A week later. First successful implementation of revised Q3 strategy framework. Thrilled with early results. Click on the image. The numbers are up. They're actually up. That makes my chest hurt. Then I see it. In the fine print of the strategy documentation, there's a notation about stress testing parameters. The notation says, standard assumptions. But they're not standard. They're aggressive. They're my original draft assumptions, the ones I'd flagged for revision, the ones that assume zero margin for error. 2 weeks later, Megan posts again. Loving the momentum. Sometimes simplifying reveals what's really working. She's stripped out the safeguards. The stress testing buffers I'd built in, designed to catch problems before they cascade, are gone. In her mind, that's streamlining. In reality, she's removing the airbags. I don't comment. Just watch. The comments under her posts are congratulations and celebration. She's killing it. The problem is, she's also killing the company. She just doesn't know it yet. I have an email draft sitting in my unsent folder for 3 weeks. I wrote it the day before I left for my father's hospital appointment. It was addressed to Tyler and Andrew Caldwell, the CFO. It outlined a concern I'd identified in the strategy model, a cascading vulnerability that could trigger across multiple quarters if a single assumption failed. The email was detailed, specific, and kind. I never sent it. I told myself I'd review it when I got back. Make sure the tone was right. But when I got back, my badge was red. Reading the email now, I can see exactly what Tyler was afraid of. If I'd sent this, there would be a paper trail. A documented warning. Something that would protect him if things went wrong and make him look smart if they went right. Instead, I never sent it. And my concern is just a concern, sitting in an unsent draft with no one knowing it ever existed. Tyler deleted my access to the system before approvals went through. I have the memory of this, but not the documentation. I have the knowledge, but not the proof. He wanted plausible deniability. I close the email draft. I save it to 3 separate drives and to the cloud. My former colleague Jackson calls me on a Tuesday morning. Hey! He says like we see each other every day. I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I wanted to give you a heads up. My heart speeds up. Heads up about what? The pilot numbers. The Q3 ones that Megan's been talking about. There's something weird going on. The reconciliation isn't tight. I ran some analytics and I think there's an assumption failure somewhere in the model. Everything goes very still. What kind of assumption failure? Ask carefully. I don't know exactly. But the numbers work if you accept that client retention will stay exactly where it is. They don't work if there's any drift. And there's always drift. Especially with this portfolio. Do know. I'd built the assumption drift analysis. I'd shown that a 3% variance would cascade into a 7% impact within 2 quarters. Have you told Tyler? Yes. That's the thing, Jackson says quietly. I tried. He said the numbers are solid. He said Megan validated them. He seemed defensive. And then he said something weird. He said, if there was a problem, Rachel would have caught it before she left. He's transferring blame forward. Brilliant. Jackson, I say. Keep documenting what you find. Everything. But don't send it to anyone at the company yet. Why not? Because I need to understand the whole picture first. After we hang up, I sit in my kitchen for a long time. The bomb is starting to tick. Weeks pass. I don't contact Tyler. I don't reach out to anyone at Vertex. I don't post about my situation or fish for sympathy. I just exist quietly in the space between my old life and whatever comes next. Tyler tries to contact me twice. The first time is an email. Hey, hope you're doing okay. Would love to catch up soon. The second time is a phone call that I let go to voicemail. His message is warm, concerned. Rachel, I know this sucks. I wanted to make sure you're okay. Call me. I don't call. I don't email back. Silence is powerful. It's not weakness. It's not defeat. It's the sound of someone who doesn't need to explain themselves anymore. I spend my time working freelance. Small projects for small companies. Nothing glamorous. But it pays the bills. I also spend time reading. Annual reports. Industry analyses. Competitor filings. I'm building a map of the landscape. 3 weeks into my silence, Tyler calls again. This time I answer. Rachel, hey. I've been thinking, he sounds relieved. I have a consulting opportunity for you. Short term, nothing binding, but I could really use your expertise. What is it? Ask, keeping my voice neutral. The Q3 strategy. We're hitting some metrics I want to validate. Would you be willing to come back, just as a consultant, to review the model? I'd pay you well. He wants my fix without my credit. He wants me to solve the problem I never told him about while he takes the credit. I'll think about it, I tell him. Great, he says, relief flooding his voice. Let me know soon, okay? After we hang up, I laugh. It's not a happy sound. We meet at a coffee shop near the office. Neutral territory. Tyler looks good. Promotion looks good on him. He's had his hair cut, wears better clothes, carries himself with the confidence of someone the world has just told matters. You look great, he says. Thanks, I say. How's the new role? Honestly, it's different. I'm still learning. But Megan's been great. She's sharp. He says it like having someone approach problems differently from the person who designed the system is somehow an improvement. So, I say. Tell me about the metrics issue. He shifts slightly. There's been some variance from projection. Nothing catastrophic, but I want to make sure we're not missing something structural. I want to bring in someone I trust, you, to take a clean look at the assumptions. And Megan doesn't do that. Megan's smart, Tyler says carefully. But she's new. She doesn't have the depth of knowledge you do about why the model was built the way it was. Translation. Megan built a bridge without understanding the foundations. I want to help, I say slowly. But I need to know what I'm actually looking at. Can you send me the current model? All iterations from when Megan took over. Of course, he says quickly. I'll send you everything. And my role would be purely consulting. No official title, just analysis. Yeah, exactly. Cleaner that way. What he means is, cleaner for denying credit later. Okay, I say. Send me the files. I'll take a look. Tyler practically glows with relief. The files arrive that evening. I spend the next week reconstructing my original model from the backups. It takes that long because I'm thorough, because I'm documenting everything bulletproof. The picture emerges like a photograph developing. Megan removed every single stress buffer I'd built in. Every safeguard. every contingency analysis, every scenario where something went wrong. She stripped them all out. What she didn't understand was that in financial modeling, the safeguards are the whole point. They're the difference between a strategy and a disaster waiting to happen. I find the cascade point, the exact moment when a small variance turns into system failure. It's not dramatic. It's slow, inevitable, unstoppable once it starts. One failed assumption, just one, and the entire Q3 structure collapses like a house built on sand. I calculate the probability of that assumption holding. I model what happens if there's even a small shift in market conditions or client behavior. The numbers are horrible. The beautiful, terrible part is that they make sense. I understand exactly why they're horrible. I have documentation that Megan removed the safeguards that would have caught it. I compile everything into a folder. Timestamp. Organized. Clear. Then I wait. An email arrives from someone I don't know. The subject line says board deck draft for review. The sender works in board affairs, and my address is on the CC line. It's a mistake. I open the attachment anyway. It's the Q3 strategy presentation. The board presentation. The one Tyler will present to the full board on April 30th. It's my presentation. My slides, my language, my visual design. But my name has been stripped off. Instead it says, Strategy Update, prepared by Megan Torres. Except if I look at the metadata, the document still shows my name as the original author. The files were last modified by Megan on March 21st, but the original creation date is 2 weeks earlier, and the creator tag still reads Rachel Sterling. Tyler has taken my work, handed it to Megan, and is preparing to present it as if she created it. I download the file, document the metadata, and save it alongside everything else. The board presentation is in 7 weeks. Tyler has no idea that his own board packet contains the evidence of his theft. I meet with an employment attorney named Eric Summers. He's kind in a way that makes me want to cry. Walk me through what happened, he says, and I do. I tell him about the restructuring, the timeline, the access, Tyler's authority. I tell him about his attempt to hire me as a consultant, about the metadata in the board presentation. He takes notes. He doesn't jump to conclusions. When I'm done, he leans back in his chair. Okay, so here's what I see. Was this wrongful termination? Probably not legally. He was promoted, had authority to restructure. It's quick and convenient for him, but not illegal. My stomach sinks. However, he continues, the truth presented clearly can be devastating. Whatever you choose to do, do it by the book. Document everything. Don't lie. Don't exaggerate. Don't move outside legal bounds. He slides a piece of paper across his desk. It's guidelines, rules, how to ensure everything I do going forward is airtight. The truth can hurt people, he says, if presented fairly. The first quarterly report comes out in late April. Tyler holds a company-wide meeting. We're ahead of projection, he announces, and Megan smiles. The strategy shift has yielded incredible results. We're on track for an exceptional year. The numbers look good. Surface level, they're stunning. But I've already spent 40 hours analyzing them. I know what the surface is hiding. Jackson texts me, numbers are weird. I can't pinpoint it yet, but something's off. I don't tell him I've already identified the problem. In early May, there's a subtle shift. Clients who were supposed to renew don't. Partnership stays flat. The market hasn't changed. The factors that would explain these changes are invisible. But they exist in the assumptions. The ones Megan assumed away. Tyler doubles down. He presents at an industry conference about the strategy model. He gets quoted in articles. He locks Megan into promises about future growth. And I wait. My mother calls me on a Tuesday. I'm worried about you, she says. You haven't been to dinner in 2 months. You're not returning Tyler's calls. I'm fine, I tell her. Tyler's trying to help. Why won't you let him help? Because I don't trust him, I say simply. That's not fair to him. He's your brother. He fired me while I was taking care of Dad. Silence on the other end. He had his reasons, she finally says, and that's when I understand completely. My mother has heard Tyler's version, and she believes it. Or she's made peace with it. I have to go, I tell her. Hang up. Don't call back. I don't explain myself. The burden of making other people understand is no longer my responsibility. The email arrives from the board's general counsel on a Friday afternoon. We've decided to conduct a comprehensive internal audit of our Q3 strategy implementation, it reads. This is standard procedure for major strategic shifts. Tyler must have requested it himself. He must have thought an audit would validate his approach. He has no idea what an audit will find. The email continues. Megan Torres will oversee the audit process from our side, working with external auditors. Course. Megan will oversee the investigation into Megan's work. I don't reach out. I don't offer perspective. I just wait for them to find what Jackson already found, what I've documented. Andrew Caldwell calls me on a Wednesday. He's the CFO. He oversees all financial strategy for the company. Rachel, I was wondering if you might have time for a conversation, he says carefully. Off the record. My heart rate spikes. Of course. What about? The Q3 strategy. I'm reviewing the audit findings, and I'm seeing gaps in the documentation. I was wondering if you might be able to help me understand how the original model was built. I could, I say. But I want to be clear about my role. I was terminated. Anything I discuss needs to be separate from that situation. Completely understood, he says. This is just between us. We schedule a call for the next day. I explain the model the way a teacher explains math to a genuine student. I walk Andrew through the assumptions, what they mean, why I chose them, what they're designed to catch. I don't criticize Megan. I don't blame Tyler. I just explain the thinking. The stress buffers, I say, exist because assumption drift is inevitable. It's not a matter of if they fail, it's when. The safeguards are designed to catch that failure before it cascades. And they were removed. Andrew asks. I don't know why, I say carefully. But yes, they were. Would they have caught the current variance? I pause, wanting to be honest without being accusatory. I would want to model that completely. But based on what I'm seeing, probably yes. Andrew is quiet for a long moment. Rachel, I'm going to need documentation of the original model. Everything you can provide about the assumptions, the safeguards, the rationale. I can do that, I say. And I do. I compile everything into a single document. Every assumption. Every safety parameter. Every stress test. Every scenario analysis. Time-stamped, dated with clear explanations. I send it to Andrew with a cover note. For your review. This represents my work on the strategy model, completed before my departure. The documents are irrefutable. They predate my termination. They predate Megan's employment. They show exactly what was built and why. Andrew forwards them to the audit team. The audit team brings in legal. Legal starts asking questions. And suddenly, the structure that Tyler built starts developing stress fractures. Megan reaches out to Tyler. I don't know what she says, but I can infer it from the timeline. The Q3 numbers start sliding. Not dramatically. Just enough to be noticeable. The clean numbers that validated her work start getting messy. She's realizing that the model she inherited, the one she simplified, is showing weaknesses. Tyler tries to help her, but he can't. He doesn't understand the model. He never did. It was always mine. Megan starts emailing consultants, asking for advice on assumption validation. She's trying to solve the problem after the fact. But financial models don't work that way. By the end of May, even the surface numbers are slipping. The board meeting is scheduled for May 30th. Not April 30th like originally planned. It's been pushed back. Probably because something went wrong. Tyler presents first. He talks about the strategy, the results, the vision. His confidence is unwavering. He doesn't know yet. Then a board member asks a question. The stress parameters in the original documentation. Can you walk us through why those were removed from the current model? Silence. I'm sorry, Tyler says, and for the first time I hear uncertainty. The stress testing protocols, the director repeats. In Rachel Sterling's original documentation, there are specific contingency scenarios. I don't see them in the current implementation. Why? The name Rachel hangs in the air like someone just opened a door. I think Megan can answer that, Tyler says, relief evident in his voice. Megan stands up. The original model was quite complex, she says carefully. I streamlined the approach to make it more efficient. And you consulted with Rachel Sterling on that decision? The director asks. No. She was no longer with the company. So you streamlined a model you didn't create, removing safeguards you didn't design, for reasons you can't articulate? The room goes very quiet. The next quarter's numbers come in on June 15th. They're bad. Not catastrophic, but bad enough. The variance that Jackson identified cascades exactly the way I predicted. Megan goes into meetings with the board. So does Tyler. The explanations don't hold up. The assumptions don't hold up. The model doesn't hold up. And in the middle of explaining why the numbers are wrong, someone pulls out my documentation. This analysis, a board member says, holding up the papers I sent to Andrew, suggests this failure was predictable. It says right here. Assumption drift will create cascading impact within 2 quarters if safeguards are removed. Megan's face goes white. That analysis was prepared when? Another director asks. 3 weeks before my departure. I say quietly, standing in the back of the room. I've been invited to observe. I've stayed silent until now. You knew about this. Andrew asks me. I suspected it when I reviewed the current model. I say calmly. I documented my concerns about the removed safeguards. But I wasn't asked for my analysis until the audit was underway. The director turns to Tyler. And you're aware that this person who built the original strategy tried to consult with you about these risks? Tyler's jaw clenches. She was trying to come back as a consultant. I thought. You thought, the director says. But you never actually asked her about her concerns regarding the model you'd redesigned while she was away. Why wasn't Rachel consulted? A director asks this directly, and the question is so obvious that it hangs like an accusation. Tyler opens his mouth, closes it. Megan looks at him, hope fading. She realizes he's about to let her fall alone. There were time constraints, Tyler starts, but his voice sounds hollow. Then someone pulls up the timeline. My termination date. The timestamp on my separation paperwork. The date Megan was hired. All on the same day. So, the director says slowly, Rachel Sterling was terminated the same day Megan Torres was hired to replace her, after Rachel had taken approved leave to care for a family medical emergency, and this termination occurred before the strategic review that would be conducted 8 weeks later. He doesn't ask it as a question. The timing was coincidental, Tyler says. Was it? The director asks. Tyler is placed on administrative leave the next day. The board issues a statement. We've initiated a comprehensive review of recent strategic decisions and personnel actions. During this period, Vice President Tyler Wade will step back from his responsibilities pending the outcome of this review. His promotion is rescinded. His authority is suspended. His emails are handed over to legal. The news reaches me through Jackson. It's happening. Board just announced. He's gone. I don't feel triumph. Feel exhausted relief. Megan keeps her job. She works with the audit team to restore the safeguards, to rebuild what she'd simplified. Takes 2 weeks, and by the end she understands why the model was built the way it was. She sends me an email. I'm sorry I didn't understand what you'd built. I don't respond, but I appreciate the message. The company calls with an offer. Andrew delivers it with genuine respect. We'd like you to return as senior advisor to strategy, he says. Overseeing all assumptions, safeguards, implementation decisions. The compensation is significantly higher. The authority is clear. We believe in giving you full autonomy. I think about this for 3 days. I think about going back, about being vindicated, about walking the halls knowing I'm the smartest person in the room. Then I think about Tyler's empty office, about what it would cost me to spend 8 hours a day in a building where he was fired because of me. Call Andrew back. I'm declining the offer, I say. May I ask why? Because I've spent enough time proving myself to people who doubted me. I don't need a job built on being right about something I tried to warn them about anyway. Instead, I accept an offer from a competitor. Better pay. Same authority. A company that didn't need me to fail to understand my value. When I give notice to Andrew, he understands. I'm sorry we didn't listen to you the first time, he tells me. Yeah, I say. Me too. Tyler is never rehired. His name becomes a cautionary tale. The mistake that costs companies millions. The brother who burned his sister to climb higher. Family dinners go quiet when he's brought up. My mother stops trying to convince me to reconcile. But I sleep peacefully. Because silence isn't weakness. Precision wins. The numbers always, eventually, speak for themselves. And they always, inevitably, expose the truth.